Saturday, October 1, 2011. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and this is my 1991 Volkswagen Vanagon. So I decided to install an aftermarket tachometer. Found this one here, and as you saw on my video last week, I started the van up, and the needle was just bouncing up and down. In fact, let me show you that again right now. So you can see the needle is kind of jumping erratically. It's kind of wacky there. At first I thought the tachometer was faulty and I was going to return it, but I haven't actually had a chance to go to the store yet. Then I thought, I may as well just try to find the the nitrous brand tachometer here that would visually be a perfect match for the oil pressure gauge. And I had to go to a couple of stores, but I did find it. And then a thought had occurred to me that, maybe it's an issue with the van itself and not the tachometer, because it is working. So, did a little more research, and I found another YouTube video here, and they show how to make a tachometer signal filter, which is what I'm going to do today, and I'll show you what I've got and how to do that. I'm going to be running a resistor here in line with the signal wire to the tachometer. And supposedly what that'll do is it'll take the spikes out of the signal. Okay, as you can see, I have crimped one of the connector ends here onto the end of the resistor. And I have cut a short piece of heat shrink tubing, which I'm about to attach there. And then I'm going to crimp the second connector on. Okay, the resistor is now insulated and has the quick disconnect ends on it. So I'm going to put the camera down here for a moment, put it in line with the tach signal wire, and see if that fixes the jumping needle. And if after that it still doesn't work, I'll try the second tachometer. The signal filter resistor is still in line there, so give this a try. Okay, still jumping. Okay, I've got the second of the two tachometers wired in now, so wish me luck. I'm going to give this a start up and see whether or not the second one behaves the same way. So it's not the tachometer, it's not either one of them, it's the van or the connections, and I'm thinking that maybe the signal filter here is not quite good enough. So I don't know, maybe I'll try to make a second one here with two resistors in it and see what happens. Well, I added more resistors and that doesn't seem to be doing the trick. Well, this generally does seem to smooth out when I bring out the RPMs. I don't think I'm getting the jumping then, so I'll use this for my oil pressure test, because I do really kind of need this in here, and I think I'm going to keep this one because even though it's the cheaper of the two tachs, it matches the oil pressure gauge here. Well, unfortunately, the test still isn't conclusive. I swear that even when it's bottomed out here, I really don't think the engine's at 2,000 RPM. I think it's probably about half that. This Vanagon has never had a tachometer. I've driven my parents' van a lot of miles, and it's got a tachometer, so I've got a fairly good feel for where 2,000 should be. So let's bring up the RPM here. And even then, the oil pressure does seem a bit on the low side to me, but once again, could be kind of a cheap gauge. So, unfortunately, these tests are far less conclusive than I thought they would be. Maybe the engine isn't completely done yet. So, I think what I'm probably going to have to do is just keep driving it a while. I'm going to keep the oil pressure gauge, because even if it isn't, my hope is that it's reading a bit lower than it really should. And in which case the engine's okay. But even if it is reading accurately, it is reading, so I can at least see oil pressure drops.